as a man. I need you to look at it as I stretch it.
Ocean water.
Birds. Hello everyone, real quick, some shameless plugs for you. I do have an ASMR channel called Tech25 ASMR. I'm going to be uploading a new video there soon, and it will be regarding my stalker Ralph from way back in the day. Some of you might remember that story. So make sure you sub to Tech25 ASMR. I got some other surprises coming there soon too. Link below in the description, and it's also the top pinned comment. I'll see you there with birds and men.
Stretch it.
So if you remember back in early May, I was talking about how Nintendo updated their end user license agreement, and it seemed like a lot of people were putting out FUD about the end user license agreement. Essentially, hear what it says. I'm not going to read the whole thing again, but this is what people were freaking out about. You acknowledge that if you fail to comply with the foregoing restrictions, Nintendo may render the Nintendo account services and or the applicable Nintendo device permanently unusable in whole or in part. But then I pointed out with the Wii end user license agreement, the wording was pretty damn similar. This is what that had to say. Again, I'm just reading the end part to you. If we detect unauthorized software, services, or devices, your access to the Wii network service may be disabled and or the Wii console or games may be unplayable. Sounds pretty draconian too as well, right? Like, doesn't sound any better, but they just worded it a little different. Well, it seems I was wrong about saying that people are fear-mongering and spreading FUD, and Nintendo is banning consoles for some really ridiculous reasons. Well, let's begin with the German Switch 2 owner that posted on a German Nintendo Switch 2 subreddit that a friend of theirs actually got this key for a game from a third-party site, and it ended up getting their Switch 2 console online banned. This is translated from Reddit, so the wording of it may be funky, but this is what HutsX had to say. My colleague was able to purchase and redeem keys from third-party websites on the Switch 1 without any problems, and nothing happened. Now he's bought a Switch 2 and wanted to save a whopping €3, which again, like really, on a DLC. So he went back to a third-party seller. I didn't ask which one. Why, I don't know. Well, now this Switch 2 and his Nintendo account are permanently banned, and he can never play online the console again. Again, the wording is translated here, so things are going to be funky. Even with new accounts, which Nintendo support confirmed. So they told him, yeah, your console is permanently banned and we can't revert it. They can't. Instead of just saying that, okay, that game you bought the key for, it's not eligible, that sucks for you, you lost some money, and they let him go use his console again, they essentially make the console a doorstop. But it doesn't end there. Let me continue. Now he's returned it and is waiting for a response. To anyone looking to save money, stay away from third-party key sites. Perhaps this warning will help someone else. Has the same thing happened to anyone else? Or have you done this? I think they mean to say, again, the wording, it's translated. Or has anyone else done this and they haven't received a ban, where they got a third-party key from a weird site and Nintendo didn't care? Now, I tried to look for other sources of this. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't really know why this would be made up. I'm not seeing this spread everywhere. So if it's just someone looking for attention, it would be a weird way to look for it, but it could very well be the case. I just want to put that out there and keep that in mind. Grain of salt alert. You remember those from back in the day if you're an OG. But yeah, this seems like something Nintendo would do. Like, it's insane. They literally have a leash more than ever on your hardware. This is absolutely unacceptable. Imagine spending $450 to $499 on a console, and yes, stupidly getting a code for a game to get a discount from a third-party site for €3 on top of it, which is virtually nothing. But okay, yes, that was dumb to do, but Nintendo, just reject the code or kick the game out of their library. Don't block them from using all of their online services. Hopefully this person can get an exchange. I find it absolutely amazing. This is so anti-consumer what Nintendo is doing. But if you kind of don't feel bad for this guy from getting his code from a third-party site, which, look, I don't think his whole console should have been banned. That's Nintendo being terrible. This story should blow your mind. Nintendo banned a console, a Switch 2, because they didn't like the username someone had for their online services. I'm not kidding. This comes from notebookcheck.net. Well, most of the Switch 2 bans have been heavily centered on piracy and the use of unauthorized hardware, specifically the MIG flash cartridges, which I'm sure you heard about Nintendo. There was the MIG flash cart, which it looked like a Switch cartridge, but you could put an SD card slot in there and back up your games. Now, of course, you could use it for nefarious purposes too and just get ROMs for the Switch from online, put them on the SD card and pirate games. That's why Nintendo hated it. But a lot of people used it still on the Switch 1. The Switch 2, it could get your console banned, which, whatever. If that was the only story, I wouldn't be making this video. But this is insane why they banned this person's Switch 2. Let me continue. One Reddit user, Funeo24, reported on the Switch 2 subreddit that their Nintendo Switch 2 console was banned for an obnoxious username. I'm not kidding. The console was banned. The console, not that the name was rejected or maybe they lost access to their services for 48 hours, which I would even think is ridiculous for this name. But here we go. Here's the name. The Reddit user stated that their Switch 2 console was banned after a family member reportedly changed their profile name. Imagine a family member doing it too. Like, say you forget to lock down your console in a certain way, and a family member does this and changes your username, and because your family member changed your username, your Switch 2 gets banned. How ridiculously unfair is that? Let me continue. Was banned after a family member reportedly changed their profile name to Twink Link. I'm not going to explain what a twink is here, but if you know, you know. But nonetheless, do I think they should have been banned for this? No. Funeo24 further remarked that they were prevented from accessing any Nintendo services. And Nintendo, they actually called Nintendo support, explained their situation, and they said, once a console is banned, it is non-reversible. That's it. Congratulations on your $450 to $499 US piece of plastic because you decided to get the username Twink Link, or your brother or father or whoever. It'd be a little weird if your father changed your name to Twink Link, but you get my point. Some family member changed your name, and now it's your fault. Your console's screwed because someone screwed with your username, and Nintendo didn't like it. The feelings police. Nintendo was offended, so your console is permanently banned from online services. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're really doing what I thought people were just putting FUD out about. The sky is actually kind of falling here. Whereas I always like, it's overblown. It's clickbait. Is it? Is it? Rest in peace to Twink Link. I'm trying to think of an analogy here where I don't sound like a PC elitist, because I'm not. Okay. I own a Switch 2. I own all of the consoles. Yes, I do play on PC most, but if I want to go back and play the Demon's Souls remake or play Mario Kart World, I have the PS5, I have the Nintendo Switch 2, and I have a Series X. I can play whatever I want to. I am hardware agnostic. But the point still stands. Imagine, because I wanted to save a couple bucks on a game, I go to a third-party site to get a Steam key for a game. And because I do that, not only does Steam, kick out and say the game is null and void and you can't use this key and we're not going to add the game to your library, somehow, some way, Bill Gates dresses up in a ninja suit, comes to my house and says,
well, your PC is bricked. You got a game key from a site that Microsoft does not approve of.
And then he goes on and and then I decide to change my name, my username on Steam to Twinklink. And then Bill Gates comes back again and says,
"Why did you decide to change your name to Twinklink? This violates our terms of service, and therefore we have blocked your hardware from accessing the internet. I'm also going to get shirtless and remove the power supply from your computer, rendering it useless."
Or actually, he would end up getting rid of my online services and my online access on the PC. Oh my, it's your hardware. I understand it's Nintendo's ecosystem, so it's not an apples to apples comparison I made right there. But this is your damn hardware. These are stupid reasons. These are anti-consumer reasons to ban someone's console. You want to go back and forth. Like I said, I wouldn't even have made a video just on the MIG Switch cartridges, that they're flash carts for the Switch, that I could see Nintendo banning your console for. You could even argue that's overreaching. It is like, all right, I would have stopped there, not made a video, kind of a nothing burger. But because of the name Twinklink, and because someone got a third-party code for a game, that, okay, so someone stole the codes, go after the website. Tell the user that the game code they put in is null and void and they can't have the game in their library. But to render their Switch 2 essentially useless? No, man, this is... You just rent your systems at this point, Nintendo. This is out of control. I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt, especially when you see how the wording with the Wii end user license agreement was so similar to the Switch 2. I've proven that before. But you're doing what everybody feared. And even if these are the exceptions, not the rule, it does still show that if you want to be ridiculous and totally anti-consumer, you could destroy someone's console that they spent over $500 if you include tax, or close to it, depending on which Switch bundle they got. You could render it useless because you don't like a username. No, man, this is not okay, and this should not be accepted, and more people need to be talking about this. This is Rich Tomorrow signing out. Sub to my ASMR channel. And as always, shout out to Bob Laveri for making this video possible.
Stretch it, stretch it, stretch it.
Hey, if you watched the whole video, what the hell are you doing? You're not subbed yet? Click that sub button. I live stream here all the time. We have a good time. Make sure to become a subscriber. It's free. Click the button now and hit that bell too. Be a man.